Hello everybody and welcome back. Let's continue on the platforming theme that I apparently have going on. Alright, this time, similar to the coin box, instead we will make a breakable box, which is when you hit it from below, it will break into smaller parts and fall down, like in Mario when he jumps up and destroys a brick. This time, we will be using the asset pack from Kenny. It's available on Open Game Art. Okay then, let's jump into Unity. Here I have already prepared a project. We have our player and the ground that he can move on. The player can currently move and jump from this player console script. I have imported the sprite for the brick and I made a sound for when we're destroying the brick. Okay, let's go ahead and drag this brick sprite in to the scene. Set its position 0, 0 and move it somewhere where you can jump and hit it. Okay, let's see if this is low enough for us to hit. Yes, you can see that we can jump high enough. Okay, let's give the brick a box collider and a rigid body and set the rigid body to static. Let's see if we can interact with our brick. Great. Now we can create a script. Breakable box. Go inside. Remove everything. Let's start very simplistic. Make a onCollision method and then on onCollision destroy game object. Alright, let's see. If we touch the brick, it should be destroyed. Oh, we forgot to assign the breakable box script to the brick. There you go, and now we try again. Okay, so it works. Now, let's check if what hit us is the player. If other.collider.gameObject.getComponent. Let's see if it has the player controller. The player controller is a script that is attached to the player, and thus it should not be attached to anything other than a player. So if the thing that hits the brick has this script, we can assume it is a player. I have found a better way of doing this check for a player than checking for a tag or a name or something like that. Okay, let's again see if it works. Yeah, we can still hit it. But we can also hit it from the sides as well. So let's go on and make it so that we can only break it if we hit it from below. So once we have check that it is a player, we can also check that it is the hit is coming from below. So other.contacts, this is the contact points that the collider is getting hit on. The first contact point, because there was only one hit, and then we want to check the normal of that hit. And we only want to check it in the y-axis, and this value should be greater than 0.5. If it is, then we can assume the hit came from below. Let's save and go into the scene again and try it. If we hit it from the side, nothing. From above, nothing. From below, yes, it destroyed. Great, let's move on. Now, when we are destroying the brick, we want smaller brick parts to fall out of it, like in Mario. To do that, we can actually create a particle system for it. So, press the brick wall and create effects particle system. And I am no expert in particle systems, so you can probably make this even better than I am, but I will just go ahead and create something. We can start by adjusting the shape. we see that the particles are shooting out from everywhere, but we only want them to shoot out upwards. So let's go to the shape and change it to the circle. And then we need to change the arc into perhaps 90 degrees. And then we can go up to the rotation and change it to 45. And we see that now they're shooting out upwards. And we also want the bits to fall down, so let's adjust the gravity modifier and set it to 2. Now you can see they go up and then they fall down. Let's adjust the lifetime now. The particles are living for way too long. We only want them to live a short time. So let's set it to perhaps 0.8. Yeah, that seems enough. And we don't want the particles to play very long, so set this to something small, 0.1. And we also don't want it to loop, so turn off looping. Now we can go down to the emission and set it as a burst, because we want them to burst out only once. And we can set the count to 4 or 5 perhaps. Let's start with 5. See? Okay, this looks good, doesn't it? Let's fine tune this a bit. We can start by adding a correct sprite to ours. We want the particles to look like a brick, or a smaller brick part, but for simplicity I will just make them look like the brick itself but smaller. To do that, let's create a new material. Create material. Can name it brick material. Then we change it. We can't assign a sprite to it, so we have to change the shader. We can change it to particles unlit, and then to the albedo, drag in the brick wall material. Alright, now it looks like a brick wall. Then go back to the particle system, down to the renderer, and here on the default particle material spot, you can drag in the brick material. Let's see what it looks like. Alright, but the bricks are way too big at the moment. Let's go and change the size of them. And let's make the size vary. So the start size, put it to a random between 2 numbers, perhaps 0.2 and 0.4. Yeah, that looks good enough. And then also let's add a rotation over time for it to look a bit better, and also a start rotation. Start with the start rotation, random between 2 constants, minus 45 to 45. It looks good. Then check rotation over lifetime and set it to a random between 2 constants. Set it to minus 45 to 45 again. Let's see how this looks. Alright, it looks good. You could perhaps change this to minus 90 to 90 instead, and they get a bit more of a rotation. Okay, I actually think this looks good enough now. So let's go ahead and implement this in our code. You can see that the particle system is a child to the brick wall. So inside of our script, let's grab it, make an wake method, and create a variable for the particle system. Private particle system particle. Then in the wake method, particle equal to get component in children. Remember, it's in the children. Type particle system. And then instead of destroying it here, let's create a method. Destruct break, we can call it break. Let's create this method and insert destroy game object, and also particle dot play. So right before dying, we will start the particle effect. But will this really work? Let's go and try it. when we play. Oh, let's go back to the particle system and make sure you uncheck play on awake. Like that. Go back inside the game. Okay, and now if you jump, nothing happens, it only disappears. That is because, remember, the particle system is a child of brick wall, and we are destroying the brick wall as soon as we are breaking this box. So the particle system doesn't have time to finish before the box gets started, get destroyed. So we need to make this an enumerator instead, and call it by starting a coroutine. Coroutine. Did I spell it right? Yes, seems so. Alright. And then after the particle system, we will do a yield, return new wait for seconds. And how long should we wait? Well, we can check how long the particle system is and wait for that long. Particle.main.lifetime start lifetime dot constant max. The constant max. So this is the longest time one of the particles will live. Take that time, wait for it, and then we destroy our game object. Let's try it. Yes, there you go. But you can see that the box still remains until it destroys. So what we need to do is to disable the sprite renderer. If we do that, we disable it, you can see that the sprite renderer disappears. So let's do that by code. Grab the reference to the sprite renderer, private sprite renderer SR. We get component sprite render, and then right after we have played the particle, take the sprite render and set the enable to false. Now if we play, you can see that the box should disappear when we hit it. Perfect, that's what we wanted. But there is still one issue. What happens if we hit the box a second time before it has been destroyed? Let's try to make a double jump. See, we could hit it 2 times, which is because the box collider that the box has is still available for us to hit. So we also need to disable that one. We can do it the same way as we did with the sprite renderer. Collider. See. Like so, and then the same way as we set the sprite render to disabled, we do the same with the box collider. Enabled equals to false. Now, if we try the double jump again, we should not be able to hit it the second time. Perfect! Works just as we wanted now. So we only have one more thing to do now, is to add the sound. Let's go to the brick wall and add a component, an audio source. Like that, and then we can assign the clip, the music file to the clip, like so, and then uncheck play on awake. You only want this to play when we hit it, not when we start the game. Okay, go back to the script and grab the reference to the audio source. Audio source. Great, and then same way as before. And then the same way as we played the particle, you can just play the audio source as well. Audio source dot play. So now when we hit the box, we should play the particle, we should play the sound, we should disable the sprite render, we should disable the box collider, and then we should wait until the particle system has played its particle, and then we destroy the game object. Let's try it. Perfect. It works exactly as we wanted now. I hope you learned something new and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you and bye bye.